Welcome to MIJ Tech. My name is Mike. As this month comes to a close, I want to thank everyone who's helped to get my channel off the ground again by interacting with my content in some way. Yes, even if you've disliked a video, I realize not everyone is into a home video style computer build, and they're not all going to be like that. It's just what footage I had available. Some of you have enjoyed it, and you're back for more. But I would like to ask a favor from all of you. Whether you've liked my content or not, leave a comment with your thoughts down below. I'm just getting started again, and like a comment I made in part 2 of this series, I'm open to constructive criticism. I know I can't please everybody, but I would like to get to know my audience a little better. Your feedback is appreciated as I look toward the future of this channel. But now for what you're really here for, so stay tuned! If this is the first video in this series you've come across, you may want to watch the first 2 parts to get the full context of the build. I've made a computer build playlist to hopefully make that easier for you. Otherwise, I invite you to the most exciting part of this computer build yet, cable management. Yes, I am being a little bit sarcastic in saying that, but I do think there's something to be learned from our experiences. I especially think my interview at the end of the computer build is insightful for anyone who may only occasionally dabble with computer hardware, as my brother shares his thoughts about the build process. But before I drone on any longer, here's the third and final part of my brother's gaming server build. Alright, well let's start hooking up cords to the motherboard. Okay.
Verify everything that we need. You don't see a spot on the video card for plugging in, so it looks like it doesn't need extra power.
Yeah, it's a low power card.
Yep. SSD is plugged straight to the motherboard. This is where I wish the power supply only had plugged in what it needs.
Yeah.
And we also have back here.
One thing that I like to do, that kind of stuff, I mean, it's really kind of up to you in the end. I like putting it through the hole that's closest to where I have to plug it in. But then again, there are ways that you can manage the cables where you can make it look neat by not doing that.
Okay, that's the USBs. That's the power. And that's USB and audio. When these cords for the power and the reset are so separated is when I get confused on properly setting it up.
Yeah. That is often confusing. So Gigabyte has a really good solution for that I see on their motherboards. They have a separate little panel that you plug all the little cables into, and then all you do is just plug in the panels into the motherboard. Otherwise, yeah, you just have to kind of figure it out. I mean, it'll be labeled usually. That would be cruel otherwise. But
this is where I feel we need a little extra light.
Maybe you could tip the case over too, as long as you know what cables you have to thread through.
Which is what I'm trying to figure out here for it.
So usually it'd be to the lower right of where we are, kind of where you thread through that cable. Looks like right by those SATA ports.
Huh. Yep. I was looking in a completely wrong spot when I was looking at some of these things. I imagine this is an edit out section. So I guess this USB connector is what's going to go right there.
Yep.
That's the power. No, that's why I was going out looking down there. To get the right angle I need. That, there.
That sounded like a very solid click.
It was. I'm still going to check it twice. front panel connectors. Right through here. What is your opinion on where it should go? I can come up through here, or I can come in through here.
Yeah, coming through the bottom.
Okay. I have all these extra power cores that are not getting used to do something with.
I mean, as far as that goes, you have a pretty simple build. Seeing how you don't have to route a whole lot of those cables. Mine was a little bit more intensive. Because I also had 3 case fans that I had to worry about. You only have one, but you have one where I think it matters the most. Oh, closing things up.
Closing up the back so that core placements, but I need to figure out what to do with all these extra powers that I'm not using.
Yeah, just roll them back up and just kind of stuff them down there.
There.
And does it use thumb screws?
On both sides, which is nice.
Yeah, I think my current case has those too.
This. Okay. Reconsulting the manual again.
Oh, plugging in all the front panel stuff.
Yep.
Oh, joy. Favorite part of every computer build.
Attempting to determine the right order in which they go. Oh, these ones are USB, it looks like. And HD audio. Understanding these is the most frustrating part of the entire build. Maybe I should have plugged in that USB last. This is where I don't feel like I'm doing it right. Oh, there we go. Power LED plus and minus. Okay. Next up is the reset switch and power switch. Manual says. Right, reset will be the forward one, power is on the back one. I hate these cords, I hate these cords, I hate these cords, I hate these cords. It's like we're trying to be compact or something and make our technology smaller.
Welcome to the blessing and curse of computers.
Doesn't help. There's this big old block on the case for separating out
Oh, the power
supply.
Yeah.
Okay. This is HD audio. Oh, there is more power connectors right there.
Oh,
up
yeah.
here.
The CPU power. There's like a 4 or 8 pin connector.
Yep.
Yeah, that one can be a challenge oftentimes. Just because of where it's located.
There's what it is. This is where I get to open up the side panel again. I can swap around and move that cord. So completely unplug that USB, bring it back out. This little hole here right by the power supply. Refit them through. There we go. Yep, that gave me the angle I needed. This one. Sometimes when you have trouble reading the manual, you just got to find the right shaped prongs.
Good old common sense.
It's almost like they design these things with certain things like that in mind. It's weird. There. And I closed off the back before thinking, oh wait, I need to get those power connectors in. Whoops. Welcome to Distracted Mind Thinking of One Tracked.
Yeah, that's me.
This is why all my computer builds that I ever attempt take longer than I expect them to.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we need a 4 and an 8 prong power connection. That's my 4 prong. Yeah, not you. Go away.
I guess I should help you. Oh boy.
Oh dear. Don't have one that is just a 4 prong.
So they'll also be sometimes either 8-pin or, like in this one, it looks like you can actually separate it.
Okay. Does it actually matter what they label on the side compared to what they actually are?
Yep, it does. Well, and if there's enough clearance, you can always just plug in the side of the CPU header that you need to. Although oftentimes there's not.
Rid myself of these ones I do not need.
So that other one that has the 2 is usually for powering graphics cards.
And it says CPU on it, and then we see PCIe.
Yeah, PCIe will be for your graphics cards, typically.
Okay. So,
you just have to figure out which half of that you need.
which is going to be based off of the shape of the prongs, right?
Yeah. I don't remember if they make each set of 4 similar. They might. Because, don't quote me on this, but I think I've heard of people using 2 separate 4-pin CPU power plugs to plug into an 8-pin port.
So I've got to squeeze in that hole up there next to it to get the power thing through.
Yep.
Another one I'm going to have to bring in through here. Just due to space. Once more, closing the back.
What is this, number 3, number 4 now?
I lost counts. Important thing is to not crush the cords when I'm closing this.
Yeah, as long as not pinching anything.
Let this be the last time I open that side panel.
Yeah, well, let's hope. Alright. Get to work in the darkest corner.
Here we go. I do believe that is everything.
Alright, close her up. So one final look. I guess I can grade you pretty well so far.
Voila.
Alright. Behold the most powerful computer I didn't actually build. Well, so what are your overall thoughts as far as the build process?
Well, the very first thing that I'm going to say is that it definitely helps to know exactly what you need to do, where you're going to do it as you're going through the process for it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely ran into a couple of situations when like, oh, well, if I would have just known that, I wouldn't have had an issue. For example, the fan that was on the back that was pre-installed for it, it didn't actually make a difference. It was just my own understandings of how to slide in the motherboard that was the issue for getting that in. Furthermore, trying to get the proper cord placements where they need to go so that it all fits into where it needs to hit, knowing exactly what it is. Biggest things to know about the motherboard when you're getting things connected into it with your case, pay attention to the connector cords from the front panel stuff and how they're going to fit into there. It is so frustrating to try and figure that properly out. And knowing ahead of time what you're going to do for that can help you understand how easily you're going to be able to get that in. Sometimes it can just mean doing something slightly different in a different order.
So about the specifics of the equipment that you worked on, what would you say are some of the pros and the cons of what you actually purchased, just in terms of installation?
Well, using the SSD card for hard drive space is definitely space efficient. I've never used anything that small before when it comes to my hard drive capacities. So being able to get that in, and it was significantly faster and easier to work with. The case itself, I love the design on the case. Having the power supply on the bottom so it puts more of the weight down on the bottom of the PC so it's not so top heavy is very efficient. Having both side panels able to come off so easily really helps with being able to snake around the cords as you need to.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, so this will conclude the actual build process for, I don't know what I'm going to call this, but this.
This is the gaming server box, AMD.
There you have it.
As this computer build series comes to an end, you may be wondering, how is his computer doing 5 years later? Well, other than a noisy fan, it's still doing what it was built for. You may have your opinions about this build and its part selection, and you can share those down below. But I'd like to share some of my thoughts, especially since I have another 5 years of computer experience behind me. Having never built a gaming server before, I didn't know whether an 8-core CPU would be sufficient. I thought maybe a CPU with a higher core count would be a better fit, but evidently it hasn't been a problem. I had also taken issue with the GPU. An AMD Radeon HD 6450 was anemic and outdated even 5 years ago, and while his server didn't need a great card, I suggested then that a GeForce GT 710 or 1030 would be a better choice, if for no other reason than for driver support. But since its only real purpose was as a display output, that's also been fine so far. The power supply, while also sufficient, led to some cable management challenges, as you saw. A modular or semi-modular power supply would have saved us some hassle. Also, in retrospect, something with higher than an 80+ rating than white would have been a good idea, since the computer would be running 24/7. Other than those things, I was generally satisfied with the parts we used. Do you agree? Share your thoughts below. And just so I'm clear, I'm not trying to hate on his build. If the computer does what it needs to do, then that's great, and my opinion doesn't really matter. Like this video if you've enjoyed this building experience, and subscribe to see what shenanigans appear on my channel in the future. I have video projects planned through the rest of the year with a more relaxed release schedule. I've learned that a video every week is a challenging feat, so I'm hoping that a video approximately every other week will be more manageable. Some of what I have planned is just catching up on videos that have already been recorded, but I have some new content I'd like to sprinkle in along the way. This has been MIJ Tech, my name is Mike, and thanks again for your support during my first month back. I hope to see you next time. No special words for you this time, just a pure, unadulterated ending.